Emily if you're new here. This is a video that I'm making in response to a Q&A question that was asked. I put a poll up asking if you wanted to know how I met my boyfriend. Because so many of you said yes to the poll and you wanted to hear the story, I thought I will tell you the story time while I bake some vegan brownies. I'm going to be making these nom nom, not dairy, vegan dark chocolate brownies, which I think was gifted to Holly. And then the company also sent me a pack, which I completely forgot about. So I'm just getting around to making them now. I'm no baker by any means. So first step, I love this, it's all on the back, nice and simple. Okay, so the oven is on, preheating, and we need to line the cake tin with some baking paper. So it was, I think we're talking October last year. So October 2020, we're in the middle of a global pandemic. I'm single, not really looking for anything like a relationship. I've just discovered I'm terrible at multitasking. Okay, so the kettle's just boiled and I have to add 6 tablespoons of freshly boiled water to a large bowl. So October last year, my good friend, she is using dating apps, and she sent me like a screenshot of like a funny message or like a funny message conversation that was going between her and this guy that obviously like she'd connected with on a dating app, and it just made me laugh. And I just thought, do you know what, that just seems really fun. And I don't know, I just feel like it was a good time. I just thought, you know, it'd be quite nice just to have some fun and like talk to some people, because obviously we're not going anywhere, I'm not doing anything, I'm like stuck in a global pandemic. I think at this point that we weren't in lockdown, we'd come out of the first lockdown, but still there was not much going on, and I thought, why not? So now I'm just adding, how much? 2.5 tablespoons of oil. This is just extra virgin olive oil. I presume you just pour the whole mix in. That's what I'm gonna do. I wasn't even, like I said, I wasn't really looking for anything serious or any kind of like relationship. I just thought, you know what, it would just be quite nice and a bit different, something to spice up my mundane life. And I also thought to myself, coming out of my past relationship, I learned a lot and I had a good think about what I wanted from future relationships and like the type of person I was looking for. Not that I wanted a relationship, I think, how can I make this like really clear? Oh, this looks good actually. Look at this. I think in general, like stepping aside from my story, from my own sort of experiences and learnings, I think it's really good to kind of sit yourself down and kind of think what you want in a partner or what you want out of a relationship, because then you know what your standards are and what you are actually looking for. So like for me, for example, I, up until this point, have never dated anyone that's been vegan. And it's not something that I necessarily like that ever bothered me, but I thought, you know what, if I'm gonna actually commit to something in the future, I think actually I want to try and see what it's like to date someone who is vegan and has the same values as me, because I think that'd be really interesting, because I'd never experienced that. So that was something that I thought, you know, any future relationship I get into, I wanted to make sure that person is vegan or is either like really interested in veganism and really on board with the idea and topic. So that was something that was always kind of, you know, there for me as like a value that I wanted that other person to have. And there are obviously other things like being respectful, just being a nice, genuine person. Like there's obviously lots of things, but I think it's really important that you sit down with yourself and kind of address what it is you want out of a relationship. And then once you know that, I think in life you shouldn't be searching for relationships, because you're always then tempted to lower your standards because you're really desperate for something. That's just me giving you some advice in terms of like how I think you should approach dating and the whole relationship scene. But anyway, back to my story. So with that in mind, I obviously knew what I wanted out of someone in my next relationship, and a big thing was I wanted to see what it's like to date someone who's vegan, like next, if anyone met to my standards. And it's not, I think it comes across sounding like you're being really like vain, but it's not. It's just showing yourself respect, like having standards and what you want, and that's not a bad thing. Like you can, you know, you're entitled to want and search for what you're after. Really late one evening in October, I thought, let's have a look and see if there's like, you know, a vegan dating app just specifically for vegans. And I thought there's bound to be, like, we're in 2020 at this point. Like if someone's not come up with the idea of a vegan dating app, then that's something I'm gonna do. So went into the app store, lo and behold, after I typed in vegan dating app, there are a few that came up, and I downloaded the top one on the search, which is called Vegly. And I didn't know whether to like make a jokey profile just so I could have a little nose, but I decided no, actually don't want to like mess anyone around, because obviously some people are genuinely out there looking for something serious, and I don't want to be like this scammer. So made like a genuine profile of myself, some pictures up, had no idea what to write in my bio. I ended up writing something. I was pleasantly surprised that there were actually like more than like 5 people on the app, because I genuinely thought there probably isn't going to be that many people on here, because, you know, a vegan dating app is quite a niche thing. But to my surprise, there actually were quite a few, and you can obviously filter it by like location, age, blah blah blah. You guys know how dating apps work by now. I'm talking like they're brand new, they've been around for ages. Spread it out evenly in the bottom of this cake tin. Perfect, I'm gonna put this in the oven. Set a timer for 25 minutes.
Okay, 25 minutes and counting.
And yes, I have my Siri set to Australian because it makes me happy. Okay, I'm just gonna lick the spoon while I tell you the rest of the story. It's now turned into a mukbang, isn't it? It's like it was bake with me badly while I can't multitask, and now it is mukbang with me. So I started liking a few people, and I got, you know, some likes back, but obviously you only match if you like the same person that likes you back. And then got a few matches, and something that I personally don't like, nothing against people that do this, is when people message first and they just say hi, like they don't say anything else. It's like literally you have one, like that's your ultimate moment to go in there and like blow me away, but you say hi. So that was a bit disappointing. But this one individual who I matched with sent me a rather funny kind of comment that would link to what I put written in my bio, so it kind of showed that like he'd read it and paid attention. And I thought, you know what, that's quite funny, I'll reply. And we started talking. We started talking on the app first, and I'm be honest, the user interface on the app wasn't the best, so we kind of swiftly moved to like a different platform, which was fine. And yeah, kind of continued the conversation, and I ended up not talking to anyone else from the app. Honestly, like I said, I was not going into this looking for anything serious, but the more we spoke, like we started to talk kind of pretty regularly, like on a daily basis, and the more days that went on, the more I kind of realised that actually we had quite a lot in common. We had very similar values. Obviously being vegan to start with was great, but even just like some of the foods that we liked. And I mean, I've never personally met someone that is obsessed with herbal tea like I am. He loves herbal tea. Like, it was just funny how like little things kind of would start with like aligning, and I was like, okay. So then this was like probably like about a couple of weeks in. We've been kind of talking on a daily basis. We're kind of starting to share what's going on every day, so like sending occasional pictures of stuff, like, oh, this is what I'm eating right now, things like that, which is quite nice. And it was getting to the point where it's sort of like I would actually like to meet this person in real life. But COVID-19 had other plans, and the country went into another national lockdown. This is the second lockdown for a month, which was, to be honest, at the time, the worst timing in the world for the country to have gone into a second lockdown. But looking back, was actually really great. And what it meant is it forced us to keep talking and get to know each other sort of online first of all, before we could meet in person. So we did like a full month of just talking and getting to know each other. Right, I need to stop eating this. So yeah, we did a full month of just talking, and I think that was really beneficial because it kind of just reinforced that yes, it's like we do have a lot in common, we get on really well, and it just kind of, I guess, made it even more exciting to eventually meet in real life. And I think just like, you know, a general kind of word of caution is obviously if you're meeting someone that you've met online, or obviously you have to be really safe, and I would recommend meeting during the day where it's nice and light, meeting in a sort of public space where there's other people around, and telling your friends and family where you're going and where you're going to be at a set time, and using things like Find My Friends, or just things where your family can see where you are, just to keep an eye on you, just for your own safety. That's not to say that person is going to be bad or like an evil person, but it's just always better to be like safe than sorry, especially, unfortunately, especially as like a young woman in today's society, you do have to be extra careful, but that goes for anyone. So yeah, like I said, like it was over a month after we first started talking that I eventually met up with him again, because the country was kind of like in an awkward situation where like you could only do certain things. What we decided, what we ended up doing, was going to the climbing gym where he goes, because that's a place that's open. We could meet up there and we could do something. I think it's always nice to do something on like a first date, because otherwise it can, I don't know, I feel like it makes it less awkward because you've got something to actually talk about, if that's the thing that you're doing. I mean, I was terrified mostly for the rock climbing and embarrassing myself in that aspect, as opposed to like actually being on a date for the first time. But yeah, obviously it went well because I'm still with him now. We then obviously went on like a couple more dates, and then obviously the country's been in lockdown again and it's been really kind of disjointed. But I am so grateful for the pandemic, because I definitely would not have met him if it wasn't for it, because I wouldn't have been, you know, bored to the point where I'm like, oh, let's get a dating app just to try out and have a bit of fun. I guess I was really lucky, or like we were both really lucky to kind of like meet each other at the time that we did, and like find each other for a dating app. Another really funny thing is we're not even that far apart, like location wise, which is really nice, because you know, sometimes online you can meet people from across the other side of the world, and then it's like the whole long distance thing. At the moment it remains basically the same as long distance, because you know, you can't really see each other that much. But yeah, that's kind of the story as to how I met my vegan boyfriend in a pandemic. Pretty cool story. And yeah, in terms of like, I don't know, featuring him on the channel, because I'm sure you guys will probably ask that, and you already have actually in my Q&A. I think we'll just see what happens and like see how we get on, because I would never want to put a camera in front of someone's face that doesn't want to be online. I also would never want to jeopardize like a genuine relationship for the sake of social media, if that makes sense. So we'll just see. Maybe in the future, that's I guess something that you'll see if you stick around, so you may as well subscribe to my channel to see what happens with that. I'm gonna pause this for now, and I will show you the brownies, like the end result when they're done. So I've let the brownies cool, and I think it's all hardened up now, so we'll take them out, cut it up, and Mum wants to try these. These look so yum. Which piece do you want, Mum?
Okay.
So thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I really hope you liked it. If you did, remember to give it a thumbs up. Leave me any comments down below. Any of your questions relating to, I don't know, relationships, anything like that, leave them in the comments down below. And if you're new here, remember to subscribe, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye for now.